Welcome back to the channel. Crypto Trend Trader here, and today we're going to be taking a quick look at Bitcoin. Before we get started, I'd like to remind you this is not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. These markets are extremely volatile, so please do your own research and trade responsibly. So here we have the Bitcoin Coinbase chart. I'm going to switch over to the daily, and we're just going to take a little look. We did get a strong move back to the upside, um, but we also put in a new low. So when we came down here and put in that new low, half the candle got bought up. We did get continuation, push up, but then it sold back off. And this to me is a big time indecision candle. And now with the close right here at a new low from there, I would expect us to continue selling off. We may test down to this area and find support and then get a legitimate bounce at any time, just because this is so much negative price action off of that initial dead cat bounce. But again, I'm not getting bullish on this thing anytime soon. I would like to point out though, keep in mind this is very busy, but we do have this long time trend line going all the way back here, this white dotted line, and that was the bottom of the 2015 bear market, and then it touches the bottom of the 2018 bear market. And now here we are at it right now. We did punch down to it, touch it, come back up, and then break through it, and then we close back above it here. So as long as we are above it at this time, we have technically maintained the uptrend, and we're still, we are still in a bullish formation. Even though I'm not bullish at the time, like short term, but more like on the longer scale, we are basically still in an upward trend. Should we lose this and come down here, I think breaking below that line is going to give us a very high likelihood of closing below that line on a significant time scale, especially with the monthly coming up, is essentially going to be the final nail in the coffin. If we do break down below there and close below there, then I think it's very likely that we're at least coming down to our next fib level at the 786 at 54.54, and then if that fails, 42.98, and then potentially anywhere as low as our previous low, potentially even a lower low. But again, that's all still way down the line. It's not going to happen overnight. What I would like to point out though is that we did put in a high, came back down, put in a low, came in, put a lower high. So the last thing that we want to see right here is for this to come down below that 150 zone. Again, not that I'm expecting that to happen, but that's the number one thing we got to look out for if this this market and this asset are potentially in like serious long-term trouble. In the meantime, though, I don't think that we're in jeopardy as of now. We are still technically in a bearish consolidation and slowly moving to the downside, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we couldn't pivot and swing off any one of these points. We are still very close to the 618, so it's possible that we sold off a little more intense to the 618, and then we would rocket to the upside. A lot of people are calling out this head and shoulders pattern right here, and technically, although we did break down below the neckline here, and we kind of got like the pushback up retest, I've seen it a million times in Bitcoin history where we come up and we put in what looks like a head and shoulders pattern, and then all of a sudden we come down, find support, and then we rocket off to the upside. And here's a specific example on the way up. We came up here, put in the head, came back down, started coming up to put in the shoulder, and everybody was screaming at this time, head and shoulders. We were going back to the downside, and then we busted up more powerfully to the upside and did another, like 51% after that head and shoulders pattern was initially called out. So, that's obviously enough to take anybody out of their stop loss. And then look at the amount of price action that took place above that call of the head and shoulders. So if people are calling this the head and shoulders, and then we potentially, that could be a move to the upside. Now, again, I'm not bullish by any means in the short term. I don't think we're going to the upside necessarily or anything like that. I'm just specifically mentioning that in hindsight, this little overshoot of the 618, this little thing right here below our 618, which is the green right here, that little bit below there is nothing in the long scheme of things. If you're looking at this pattern play out and the green fib level, really all these fib levels, but if you're looking at the big scheme of things, and this going up here and everything, our 618 was at 72.25. So we're at 71.11. So basically, you can't even, zoomed out here, you can't even tell. We basically overshot it by this little nub right here. So if all of a sudden we were to rally right here and move to the upside, in hindsight, no one would ever think twice about that. But now when it's happening, when you're on the spot and we're watching it play out, obviously it looks like doom and gloom and we're going to head down forever and never find support. But I just want to keep that in perspective, okay? And then let's flash on the indicators here. You'll see we did get a strong buy signal from the TJD Jewel Thief. Even though we didn't get the knife poke down here as strong as I would like to see typically in these moves, we did get a buy signal. But again, that's what made me overall bearish in this configuration. We put in 1, a new low, 2, an indecision candle, and then 3, we didn't even get the jewel, the knife sticking down in the Jewel Thief here. And then as far as the TJD, TD MACD, we just discussed this again, that there might be an attempted rally, a dead cat bounce to push up to try to stop this histogram from staying red, and then also from the moving average from turning red. And you'll see here it did. It just flipped red here on the daily. The histogram is still strengthening to the downside. So at this point in time, it looks like continuation. And that looks like that was probably just a dead cat bounce that's going to get faded. We basically tested back up to the point of the breakdown. I don't know if you remember me saying that in a previous video. I said that we would probably retest 7,300 to 7,400 range, and that would be the retest of the area we broke down from. So we broke down, retested back up, got rejected strongly, and now here we are again under the 618, under the 236. And if we don't find support in this region, I think our next target is going to be basically, the next target is going to be a new low in the 5,400 range at the 786, which also falls in conjunction with the 1.618 of this previous swing to the bottom right here. So we're going to keep that in mind, guys. There's still a lot of action going on here. Anything could happen at this point in time. I do apologize for my little lapse there. I was having difficulties uploading videos to YouTube, but I got everything straightened back out. So I'll be back at it, and I'll hit you with a couple extra bonus videos. And I do have another indicator that's about to be usable very near future. So keep your eye out for something fresh and something new, and something that you're going to be able to use in conjunction with the other indicators that we have out at the time. So that's it for today, guys. Crypto Trend Trader, TJD, Jewel Indicator, TJD, TD MACD Indicator, and TJD Parabolic SAR with binary pivots indicator here, guys. All free on TradingView, and that's our Bitcoin Daily TA. And I'm Crypto Trend Trader signing off.